Just getting some things set up, everybody. So wherever you're joining from, get comfy. And I'm excited to have you. I'm streaming in a couple different places here. So this is new for me. I've got my classroom, my Zoom classroom. I got a couple of people joining through that. And then I'm hopefully streaming live on my Facebook page too, which is new for me. So I'm utilizing technology. Look at me go. I'll be super impressed if this all works. So I've got 1 more minute, guys. I'm just going to give it a second to see if anybody else joins. Give my oil a smell so I can stay on task tonight. Keep this to 45 minutes, which is always a challenge for me because I like a tangent. I like to go off on a tangent. Okay, well, we're almost at 8 o'clock. I'm going to jump in because I see a couple people joining. I don't believe I'm going to be able to see comments through the Facebook Live portion of things. If you're on the Zoom, I believe you can at some point take yourself off mute if you want. You don't have to, whatever you're comfortable with. So, all right, guys, welcome to one of my favorite classes. Sorry, 1 sec. I told you technology is sometimes not my strong suit. I want to go back here. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I need to. Okay, sorry guys, give me a hot minute. I told you it's not my forte. There's too many things open. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's not gonna let me there. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way with the mouse. Thought it could be a little slicker. All right, let's get started, guys. Now we're definitely at 8 o'clock. So, okay, welcome to our Essential Oils Made Easy class. My name is Sarah. For those that don't know me, I am a mama of 3. I've got 2 boys and a little girl who actually is just about 8 months old. So I have a 6, an 8-year-old and an 8-month-old. So I'm quite busy. I have been using these oils for about 6 years now, and I love teaching about them. I've had the opportunity to share with hundreds of women now in helping them get started with the oils, guiding them along this journey. And it's something I'm super passionate about. Like I said, I'm a busy mom, and so I like simple. So that's my hope for this class, is just to keep it really simple. It's one of my favorite classes to teach because it's meant to show you the foundation of, I'm going to share a couple cool things about the oils. I'm going to show you how easy it can be to use them. I'm going to go over a couple of my favorite oils, but really the purpose is to just kind of dip your toe into this amazing world of doTERRA and plant medicine. It's not meant to be like, okay, now you're going to know everything you ever needed to know about oils after this class. It's really just the tip of the iceberg. But the exciting part is, or I hope, my intention is that you'll leave this class feeling excited and potentially have learned, about some maybe new options that you hadn't thought about in regards to your health. Really, the intention is to begin to understand the power of essential oils and how they can change your health, and really to leave you feeling empowered so that you can make an informed decision for yourself on how you potentially want to move forward. So that's the goal of the class: empower you. We're going to talk about 3 things, cool things about the oils, 3 ways to use them, and how to get them into your home. So again, we're going to keep it pretty simple. Because that was one of the things that drew me to these oils, was, as a busy mom, was the simplicity of being able to use them. Okay, so let's jump right in. 3 cool things about doTERRA essential oils: safe, effective, and affordable. So I want to dive into this a little bit and spend some time here, because this is what's going to give you a bit of the foundation on why essential oils are so powerful. So the first thing is that they're 100% safe and natural, meaning there's no side effects, there's no addictions, there's no fillers or contaminants. And this is really powerful. I mean, they're simply extracts from plants with these amazing health benefits. And I always challenge people, if you've never thought about this before, because I hadn't 6 years ago, go around your house and take a couple minutes and just grab some products and have a look at the ingredients on the back. I think we're pretty good at doing that with our food, right? Reading a nutritional label, but we don't spend a lot of time doing that with our lotion and our shampoo and the cleaning products we have in our home. And most of them are, laden with toxic chemicals or ingredients we can't pronounce, or I wouldn't even know what half of them are. So there's something really powerful about knowing that when you have a bottle of doTERRA essential oil, it is strictly just what that bottle says. A bottle of peppermint is only peppermint. There's nothing added to it. And unfortunately, I can't say that for all oil brands. I think it's important to mention this quickly when we're talking about safety, is that, they're not all created equal, and there just isn't the testing and transparency out there in the marketplace. And so when I'm talking tonight about the different ways to use them, I really am just talking about doTERRA, because there's no other company out there right now that has the same relentless pursuit for purity, transparency, and doing the right thing. It's amazing. So I'm not going to get into all that. There's a lot of information. If you like to learn more about the sourcing and the testing, go to a website called sourcetoyou.com. Okay, sourcetoyou.com. It's amazing. It can give you a lot more information there. But that's why it's important to note they're 100% safe. What the bottle says is what it is. And for me, as a mom and as someone who is really trying to start to clean up their home, and use green products and really remove the toxic load from my home, knowing that I could use a bottle of peppermint or On Guard or lemon, and knowing that that was the only thing in that bottle was really, really empowering for me. The other thing that I want to mention is something that we call certified pure therapeutic grade, which is doTERRA's standard, essentially. And it basically means that you're getting the most pure and the most potent oil in the world. doTERRA is the #1 essential oil company in the world for a reason. And pure, without going into tons of detail, pure really just means that it's growing, pure means that they're doing all the testing. It's 54 various points of testing that they do on the oils. This is hugely important. And potent meaning that it's not only the testing, but it's growing in the place of the world that it grows most abundantly and naturally. So these are sourced from all over the world. And they're really paying attention to the chemistry of the plant to ensure that when it's distilled, it's the most potent form for you therapeutically. And so this makes a big difference too. One of the examples I often like to use in a class when we're in person is I talk about peppermint. So this is one of my favorite oils. It is one of the most popular oils doTERRA has. And I talk about the potency of this. And, a essential oil is 50 to 70 times more potent than the herb form. And so 1 drop of doTERRA peppermint is equivalent to about 28 cups of peppermint tea. So you can get a sense right there of the potency of just using 1 drop. Extremely, extremely effective. Many people think of peppermint tea as helping, calm their stomach or any nausea. It's exactly what peppermint oil does too, but just in a very potent, quick acting way. And if we were in a class, I would put a drop on all of your palms so you could experience this in real life, because there is something just so amazing about the peppermint. And usually what I'll do is I'll place a drop, and I'll just walk you through this now just so you can get a sense of how you can use the oils. But I'll place a drop on my palm, and I'd go around and do that to everybody in the class. And it's really cool to see how the energy picks up and everybody gets a little more chatty. People aren't quite as shy in the beginning. So it's kind of cool. It happens right away. Very energizing peppermint. So that 3 p.m. slump, you need a little pick-me-up, this is an amazing oil. Instead of grabbing a coffee or a piece of chocolate, which I've been known to do, you can just take a big inhale of your peppermint oil. And so that's what I'll get everybody in the class to do. I'll have them cup their hands over. I place one drop and just 3 really big inhales. And immediately, I mean, I can feel it now. It promotes clear breathing. It opens up my airways. It provides me this little instant boost of energy and clarity. Then what I'll get people to do is take their finger in the palm of their hand and pop their finger on the roof of their mouth. All of a sudden you have a really fresh breath. If you've had any stomach issues, bloating, indigestion, nausea, that's going to help there. And then I'll take the same, this is only 1 drop for all 3 of these things, and I'll rub it on the back of my neck. Okay. And in about, I have to be careful, don't touch your eye. Every time I put peppermint on, I want to do that. Because it's a very cooling oil. So it will burn your eyes if you rub your eyes. You just have to be cautious about that. But again, rubbing that on the back of my neck is going to relieve any sort of head tension, neck tension, and it's immediately going to start to cool my body down. I can already start to feel it. It's an amazing oil to cool your entire body down. So on a hot day, hot flashes, whatever it might be, temperature, things like that, it can be extremely effective. So I walk people through that because that right there are the 3 ways you can use essential oils. And within a minute, I just walked you through 5, 6, 7 different benefits in 1 drop. And we've used them in all 3 ways: aromatically, through smelling it; topically, through the back of your neck; and then internally on the roof of my mouth. So that's how simple it can be. The second thing I want to mention about doTERRA essential oils is how effective they are, and that they're often more effective than modern approaches to health problems. So that's a pretty big statement, right? And, if you had told me this 6 years ago when I got started with the oils, and I, in fact, got started with this one oil here, On Guard. If you had told me that, I was very skeptical in the beginning. I didn't believe in the oils. I thought they were just a pretty smell. I thought that, you really had to believe in them to maybe have some sort of placebo effect. I didn't really understand any of it. And now there's so much science and research being done, especially with this doTERRA oils, on how these oils interact within different systems of your body. And it's so fascinating, especially oils like On Guard for immune boosting properties, which is very relevant right now. And like I said, that was the oil I started with. I had 2 little sample bottles that were given to me. And I did what a lot of people do. I smiled and nodded and said, thank you, and then shoved them in my drawer and didn't look or think about them for about 6 months. And at the time, my boys were 1 and 3. So I had 2 very young boys, and I was sick and tired of feeling sick and tired all the time. Constant calls from daycare. So-and-so has an earache. So-and-so has a fever. So-and-so is vomiting. So-and-so has hand, foot, and mouth. So-and-so. And it was just this cycle, and I had to constantly be taking time off work, and I was starting a new job, and it was super stressful. And, fast forward, I remembered these 2 little sample bottles in my drawer, and I thought, oh my God, what did that lady tell me? Oh yeah, okay, this is supposed to help with immune. This is supposed to help with cold. This is supposed to let me try it. And needless to say, I was blown away at how effective they were. And that was the start for me. Normally, I'm the person that needs all the science, all the information, all the background before I jump into something. But I could not believe how effective these were. And as soon as I saw how effective they were for me, but especially for my kids, I felt so unbelievably empowered as a mom. I jumped right in. And at that point, I just had to know everything I could know about these oils. And that it's been a constant learning journey for me because there's just so much information and more information coming out. So I told you I go on tangents sometimes, but I like to share little stories on how I've used these oils and how they were introduced to me. So that was On Guard and another oil called Breathe that I'll talk about in a few minutes. But like I said, these are often more effective than modern approaches to health problems. And again, I wouldn't have thought that until I started using them. But let me walk you through some really basic science here, really basic biology. So bear with me if you're like a biology major or a nurse or a doctor. Pretty basic stuff. But I want to talk about our body being made up of millions and trillions of cells, right? Each cell has a cell membrane around it, this oily cell membrane that protects our cell, right? And when there's a bacterial issue in our body, that bacteria will sit on the outside of the cell. If we have a virus or a viral issue with our body, that's going to sit on the inside of the cell. It's the DNA that replicates on the inside of the cell. So all you really have to know, bacteria on the outside, virus on the inside of the cell. When you go to the doctor and you have a bacterial issue, you go to the doctor and often they will give you an antibiotic, right? And it's effective, it works. Unfortunately, there's pros and cons to antibiotics, especially if you're using them often. And I do believe there's a time and a place for modern medication. Definitely don't take this the wrong way, because there is a time and a place for it. But it should be the 80-20 rule, right? And I would say even in our house, it's probably the 90-10. 90% of the things that come up in our home, we can solve with these oils. And so, yeah, you use the antibiotic, it wipes out your bacteria, solves the problem, but it wipes out the good and the bad. So sometimes you have gut issues, you have to go on a probiotic. It is what it is. But if you go to the doctor and you have some sort of virus, the doctor always says, in frustration sometimes, especially as a mother, says, sorry, there's nothing we can do. Go home, get lots of rest, drink your water, eat well. Just, your body just has to work through this. And that's because most modern medications are water soluble and they have no way of penetrating that cell membrane. However, essential oils have no problem permeating the cell membrane. They flow in and out there doing their magic. On the outside, they support, the bacteria issues, good and bad. On the inside, they can work with the virus and support there in keeping you extremely healthy. And that's because your body recognizes it. It's not a water-based soluble, and it has no problem crossing through. And that is one of the examples of how powerful doTERRA oils can be in supporting your health and your immune system. And On Guard is hands down our most popular blend for this. It's a blend of these amazing powerhouse oils that help promote healthy immune function, and is probably the number one oil in our home, hands down. Like I said, it was the one we started with. And right now, with kids going back to school and all the uncertainty, this is such an amazing oil to have on hand, diffusing it, applying it to the bottoms of your feet, and amazing for any sort of sore throats. And it's also, because it's so cleansing, it's also really, really good for cleansing your home and your hands, whether that's in your hand soap, whether that's making your own hand sanitizer, whether that's for all-purpose cleaner. It's a very versatile oil. Okay. The third thing is that these essential oils are extremely affordable. Okay, so they're oftentimes more affordable than traditional medical care. Now, I know here in Canada, if you're tuning in Canada, we don't often pay out of pocket. We have our insurance that covers the majority of a drug. So bear with me here. However, there's still absolutely a cost for when you're coming down with some sort of illness, or have some sort of ailment. And one of the things I like to share, actually, one of the examples I like to share was another personal example. When my little guy, my oldest, who's 8 now, when he was quite young, when he was like 1, 2, and 3, he would get these earaches all the time. He would spike this really high fever. It would happen super quick. You'd get hardly any warning. Spike this high fever, then he'd get this horrible earache. We'd have to go into the doctors. I'd have to take time off work. He'd have to be pulled out of daycare. We'd have to go on an antibiotic. He always had stomach issues after taking antibiotics, so we would then usually try a probiotic of some sort, stock up on all sorts of yogurt or whatever. And it was a big ordeal. So yes, it maybe didn't cost me out of pocket for that drug a huge amount, but it definitely cost me time off work, him time off school, sleepless nights. Fast forward, the oils were introduced to me and I fell in love with On Guard and then Breathe, which I'll talk about in a minute. But somebody had said, oh, you're using the oils. Well, you got to try this remedy the next time he seems like he's coming down with an earache, and he'd pull on his ears. He was so young, right? And he would get these little scabs on his ears from pulling on them so often. And so they said, okay, what you got to do is try lavender and tea tree. Rub a little bit. So you never put an oil into your ear, up your nose, in your eyes, but just rub a little bit around the back of his ears, lavender and tea tree, when he seems to be, earache seems to be coming on. So the first time I did that, I thought, I don't know how this is going to work. This seems so weird. I did it. I put him to bed. He had spiked a fever. That's how I knew. Did that, put him to bed. The next morning he woke up like 12 hours later and there was no problems. He had no earaches. I continued to do that treatment throughout the day just to make sure. Fast forward a month or two later, it happened again. Used the tea tree and lavender. No problems. Went away within 24 hours. And so again, I was amazed. So the amount that saved me mentally, physically, emotionally, and we're talking pennies per dose. So the lavender and the tea tree, if I actually broke down the cost of that treatment, we're probably talking about 50 cents. And so that was hugely, again, just one of those moments for me as a mom that was just hugely empowering. And again, not to say if his fever continued really high, he was pulling on his ears, there's not to say that I wouldn't have gone for an antibiotic. Absolutely. Like I said, there's a time and a place for that, but I didn't have to, which was totally cool. And he's never had issues since with earaches. So anyways, that's just one of my own personal stories about these oils. And I've said to people before, I can't not afford to have these oils in my home. They have saved me so much time and money in the long run. And that's not even touching on some of the things that these oils can replace in your home. Beauty products like skincare. One of my favorite ways to use oils on skin. And it has saved me tons of money. DIYs, making your own cleaning products, making your own hand soap, laundry detergent. Not to overwhelm. That might seem like a lot, and I totally get it. But there is a ton of ways to save money in using these oils. And it's all, it all really is perspective in a lot of ways. Okay, so those are the three cool things about essential oils. They're safe, they're very, very effective, and they are affordable. Let's now chat on the three ways that you can use the oils. So I already shared with you when I walked through the peppermint experience. I shared with you how to use the oils aromatically, topically, and internally. So I just want to touch on that really briefly, and then we'll jump into a couple of my favorite oils. So aromatically, simply smelling the oil. One of the easiest ways to do this is with a diffuser. They've become really popular. I have one, I don't know if you can see diffusing back here. I have them all over the house, and it's just really easy because it can positively affect the mood in your home. It can cleanse the air. It can support your body just by breathing in these oils. So many different uses, even if it's just as simple as getting rid of some of the fragrance candles or plugins or anything like that in your home they're hugely disruptive to your hormones, your endocrine system. They're not good for you, your immune system. And so just diffusing can be lovely from just a smell perspective, but they can do so much more than that. So I often say, don't underestimate the power of diffusing an oil or just simply taking the cap off and smelling. Or doing oil tent is what I was doing there, where I did a drop on my palm and took a couple inhales. It can be that easy. And I sometimes use the example with people that when you go into a hospital and you need to go through a surgery or something and you're going to be put under, you aren't given a needle or a pill. You're given a mask and you're told to breathe in, count down from 10. And, usually by the time you're at 8 or 9, you're out like a light. That's because when you're breathing in this synthetic medication, it's hitting your olfactory nerve, which is here, that has direct access to your limbic system in your brain. That limbic system has the ability to send messages out to your entire body. And, in that case, it's sending a message out to say, shut down, go to sleep. And that's how essential oils work, in the same way, except it's not a synthetic compound or medication. It's a natural compound. It hits the olfactory nerve. It goes to your limbic system. Your limbic system is where you store your emotions and your memories. So that's often why smells can trigger memories. It's also why these essential oils can be hugely beneficial from an emotional and mental health standpoint. So that's your aromatic use. Then you have topical. Again, topical is a little bit more localized. So localized benefits, meaning you're going to use it for something like, oh, I have a headache, so I'm going to rub it onto my temples. Or I'm feeling muscle aches or pains, I'm going to rub it onto my muscles or the back of my neck. Stomach is a really popular one, right? You can use that topically. If you have a stomach ache, you can rub oils on there. Bottoms of your feet is a very popular place because they're not overly sensitive, your skin, but it's also very porous, so you can absorb the oils quite quickly. And I know sometimes people are thinking, okay, well, how can just putting an oil on your skin, make a difference? We absorb about 60% of what we put onto our skin into our blood system quite quickly, actually. There's an experiment you can do with, I believe it's a garlic clove, and you can rub it onto the bottoms of your feet. And within less than about 30 minutes, you're going to start to taste that garlic. And that's because it's being absorbed into your system. And that's why it's so important to start to pay attention to what you're putting onto your skin. Lotions, cleansers, moisturizers. That's a whole nother topic, but I do teach a lot of classes on toxin-free living because that's probably one of the areas I'm most passionate about. So topical use is very effective. And so feet can be a great place along the back of your spine. I talked about the On Guard earlier and keeping your immune system up. You can rub that into the bottoms of your feet or the back of your spine, and that could be a really effective way to use that oil every single day. One thing you want to keep in mind is diluting. Do I have my coconut oil? Fractionated coconut oil is simply just coconut oil that's in the liquid form. And it's one of the best ways to dilute your oil and use it topically. And the reason you do that, a couple of reasons. Safety-wise, you want to dilute to avoid sensitivity on your skin. Certain oils are going to be hotter than other oils, like your cinnamon's a pretty hot oil. Oils like your lemon and your lime and your citrus oils can make your skin a little sensitive in the sun. So you want to get into the practice of diluting, especially if you're using on wee kids, young kids. But also it makes the oil more effective because it actually traps that oil onto your skin for a longer period of time, because oils are very volatile. They evaporate very, very quickly, essential oils. So this makes a bit of a barrier and allows it to absorb into your system quicker and more easily. And it's also just easier if you're going to use, like if you have a sore muscle, say you have a sore back and you want to rub, it's really hard to rub one drop of oil into your back. You need it mixed in with something so that you can cover a surface area. And so that's why fractionated coconut oil is so beneficial. Now, I do get the question sometimes, well, where do you buy this? And doTERRA sells it. You can get it at most health food stores. You can get fractionated coconut oil most places. But if you don't have it and you're in a pinch, you can use anything. You can use olive oil, jojoba oil, grapeseed oil, almond oil, any of that stuff is going to work. And lastly, internal use. This is your third way that you're going to use, and this is very specific to doTERRA oils. You can't, please don't run out to the health food store or the mall and pick up an oil and use these in a therapeutic ways that I'm talking about. This is very specific to doTERRA, but internal is really beneficial, and it's not just safe, but it's recommended. You can put a drop in your water. So a drop of citrus oil, lemon, grapefruit is amazing for internal cleansing, amazing for metabolism, immune system. So your citrus oils have something in it called limonene. You can do some research on that if you want. Limonene is really, really beneficial for your immune system. So a drop in your water, super easy. You can take them in veggie caps, so you can make up your own little concoctions, or just a drop under the tongue or on the roof of your mouth, like I mentioned with the On Guard or with the peppermint. On Guard is one I love using too. If I ever have a sore throat, I'll put a drop in water and I'll gargle it. It works like that. Frankincense is an amazing one for me with migraines. I use this one internally. I'll put a drop under my tongue. And that helps almost immediately with migraines. And every single day, I fill up multiple bottles of this water with citrus oils in it. And it is one of the easiest yet most effective ways to contribute to overall healthy lifestyle. Okay, so that's internal uses. Now, sometimes at this point in the class, people are like, oh, wow, okay, you said simple, and that's a lot of information. I know. I totally get it. So usually at this point, I have people asking, okay, well, this is fantastic. This is great. It's piqued my interest, but where do I start? Like, it sounds like there's so many ways to use these oils, and there are. People joke and say, there's an oil for everything, but there almost is. There really is. And there's some days that I reach for 20, 30 oils in a day, right? But this has been 6 years. This has been my 6-year journey. It's not how I started. Like I said, I started with 2 oils, and I basically just used those 2 oils for the duration of the winter, and then slowly started to incorporate more. So I share this because I don't want you feeling overwhelmed. I don't want that to be the reason that you don't get started with the oils. My goal today is for you to have enough information to decide if you want to learn more, or if you want to bring some of these oils into your home. And they're not for everyone, and that's totally fine. But don't not do it because you feel overwhelmed, because that's what I'm here for. That's what my community's here for. That's what the resources, we have so many resources available for you. And what I always tell people is take a moment right now and think about what your top 3 health concerns are. Okay, I know immune support is a big one right now. So I will weave that throughout. For me, things like sleep, support with my migraines was a huge one. Digestive issues. I mean, there's so many different stress, mental health, so many different areas. Think of 3 for yourself that are really important. And that's where you're going to start. It's as simple as that. And that's where I come in helping guide you, one oil, one drop at a time, one health concern at a time. And then you slowly grow upon that. So give some thought to that. If you're watching this live or recording, give some thought about what your top 3 health concerns are and just jot them down somewhere. There's definitely power to writing things down. And now I want to share a couple of my favorite oils. And the purpose of doing this is so that I can give you a sense of some of the different ways you can use the oils. But again, it's not to get into any detail. And you're going to notice some overlap with some of them, right? Peppermint and Zenjust, which I'm going to talk about, both can help with stomach issues. But they're slightly different. And everybody's chemistry works slightly different. So depending on that, you might be drawn to one oil more than another. Also here you can see A, T, and I. This means aromatic, topical, and internal. So if you see these 3, that means you can use them in all 3 ways. If you don't see the little I, that means you don't use that one internally. So not all oils are meant to be used internally. Okay, peppermint. I already talked about this one, so I'm not going to go into detail. Hands down, one of my favorite oils. So many different ways to use this one. On Guard, also chatted about this. See, I get chatty Cathy in the beginning, and then I do my own work for me. So such an amazing oil. I would love to get this into every single person's home this fall and winter. I don't think I will do that because that will be almost an impossible task. If I could give this bottle to every single person, I will. And I feel so strongly, like my kids' teachers, I will give them a diffuser and a bottle of this On Guard for the classroom. That's how strongly I feel about this. And I just, I really would love everybody to have this oil because it's so beneficial. And it's not a cure-all. Don't get me wrong. When I'm talking about immune system, other things play a part. What you eat, what you drink, your sleep habits, it's all exercise. It's so important, but man, this is a huge support. Lavender, I touched on this a little bit with the earaches, but lavender is like the Swiss Army knife of oils. It's so calming. A lot of people associate lavender with stress and sleep, and it's amazing for that. But it's also something people don't always think of lavender for, is really good for the skin. So any skin irritation, cuts, bites, burns, stings, this is like this is your go-to in your quote unquote medicine cabinet. I can't tell you how many times I've reached for lavender over the years with young kids. It's amazing. I mentioned already about the ear, soothing your ear aches. What else have I used this one for? Oh my God, this one in tea tree, like I said, anything skin, put a couple drops in the Epsom salt bath, put a couple drops in, I put this in the baby lotion and massage Noelle with this. So many different ways to use your lavender oil. If you're feeling anxious or stressed, wild orange is another one. Emotionally, this is one I love to bring out at a class as well because people love this oil. It is so amazing. It's considered a happy oil. It's very uplifting. Simply just breathing this in really does have the ability to shift the mood for yourself and in your home. I diffuse wild orange and peppermint every single morning. I've done it for almost 6 years. It's also a really practical oil, so it's a phenomenal cleanser for the body. You can add a drop to your water. It supports metabolism and digestion. Huge cleaner for the home. It can get almost any sticky residue off. It's fantastic. It's like a natural Goo Gone. That and lemon oil together. You can add it to your smoothies, dressings, baking. It's like a natural sweetener. I love soaking my blueberries with a drop of wild orange or strawberries. It's so, so good. Breathe. This is one that I referred to. So I talked about On Guard and Breathe were the two oils I started with. This is like a natural Vicks Vapor Rub. It opens up your airways, any sort of congestion. This is an amazing one if you come down with any sort of cold or cough. It's phenomenal for sleep. You can apply it for snoring. A lot of people like the combination of Breathe and lavender in their diffuser for bed. It's one of my favorites for sleep. Also an amazing oil to use for working out. So anytime I go for a run, I put this on my chest, any sort of yoga, anytime you're doing any sort of breathing. And emotionally really good for any sort of grief. You know, when you're really, really sad, you get like that lump in your throat almost. So emotionally, that can be a really amazing oil for that. Deep Blue is your oil for all things muscle, joints, aches, and pains. Phenomenal oil. It works so well. I also love this. So my husband has a bad back. He uses this all the time for that. But I love it also for my time of the month. Every month when I have cramps and a backache, I massage this into my lower back right before bed, and it works amazing. Lemon, another citrus oil. I've touched on how uplifting these oils can be. They're a huge cleanser for the home. Amazing to put a drop in your water. Just such a practical oil. I go through, one of my favorite ways to use this oil is making up a produce bath. So you put a couple drops, you fill your sink up with water, put a couple drops of lemon, a little splash of vinegar, and you throw all your produce, your fruits and your vegetables, and you let that soak for about an hour. You'd be amazed at the dirt and the grime and the crap that comes off the stuff. So that's an awesome little tip. Then your frankincense is considered your king of oils. When in doubt, use frankincense. I can't say enough good things about this one either. It's not one that I loved the smell of in the beginning, but it is one that I crave. My body craves it now. It's a really odd thing. I use it every single morning on my face. It's one of my favorite skincare oils because it's amazing for wrinkles and laugh lines and discoloration in your skin. It really provides this youthful glow. So I use it every morning for that. I use it for my migraines, a drop under my tongue. It's really good for healthy inflammation and cell performance. So think about that. That's like everything, guys. Without, getting non-compliant here, but it's really powerful. And really calming, really calming and grounding oil for any sort of depression, stress, anxiety. Really amazing oil. Sleep, it's phenomenal. DigestZen is one of the oils I talked about. Peppermint is wonderful for stomach issues. So is DigestZen. So this is the one we love to use if we have any bloating, aches, pains, constipation. I've been using this one on my daughter now that she's eating more solids, right? She's 8 months old. She's having a heck of a time. And so we've been rubbing this on her stomach and it's like clockwork. 20 minutes later, she has a bowel movement. It's amazing how well this works. This is a blend of a variety of things, but includes fennel in it. And fennel is really, really powerful for any sort of stomach issue. And so those are, you know what, I didn't include, oh, one of my favorite oils. The slide must be missing, but one of my favorite oils, it's actually in my diffuser. It's called Adaptive, and it is one of the best oils for any sort of stress, anxiety. It's our mental health support oil. It's a blend. It's fairly new, lots of research being done, human research and trials on how this can support with your mental health. So Adaptive, one of my favorite oils, had to mention it. Here, I'll give you a visual. If you're like me, I like visuals, so that's Adaptive, if you can see that there. So highly recommend that one. And then I just threw this one in here because, you know, this is a hot topic. You might not have kids heading off to school, but it, you know, immune system and kids going back to school and the fall and all this unknown is a very hot topic. So I have a bunch of classes coming up, actually. You can check my Eventbrite link. I've got one coming up on Sunday, I think next Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So, and we're talking specifically about back to school, but just so you are aware, the amount of support that's available through these oils, depending what your goal is, there's a whole kids line available as well, which is pretty phenomenal. And then last but not least, depending what your health goals are, I can't not mention this product because it's hands down one of the most amazing products that I have ever experienced. And it's actually doTERRA's #1 product, which not a lot of people know that. And it's our Lifelong Vitality. It is a 3 supplements. There's the whole food multivitamin and minerals. Then there's the Alpha CRS, which is the antioxidant, cellular energy, and longevity supplement. And then there's your omega 3, 6, and 9 fatty acids. And these are very, very unique supplements on the marketplace because they take your essential oils, they take your whole food nutrients, they combine it all together to make an extremely bioavailable product. So your body's actually using it. And I'm telling you, you will notice a difference using these. I've used supplements in the past, very expensive supplements in the past, and nothing bad about them, but I never physically noticed a difference when I was taking them. This I did. As far as focus, energy, sleep, digestion, skin, hair, nails, memory, like, oh my God, pain management, hormones, the list could go on and on. And the cool thing about this product is it's a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, which is like hokey infomercial. But doTERRA believes so strongly in this as being such a foundation for your health, right? Here's the thing, guys, these oils are fantastic, but if you eat crappy, you don't sleep well, you drink a ton, you're not taking care of yourself in any other way, and then just you randomly throw an odd oil on here and there, it's not going to create that holistic health. It's not going to, you know, the oils aren't that good. They're really good, but you know, you need to have that healthy foundation to build upon. And this is one of the best ways to do that. And so if you try these for 30 days and you don't notice a difference in the area that you want to notice a difference in, you can return them. No questions asked. You can return the empty bottles and they will give you a full refund. So I just have to mention this because it's one of the best products out there, in my opinion. It's a game changer. Okay, let's wrap up, guys. We're almost at our 45-minute mark. So I just want to share really quickly the 3 ways that you can bring these oils into your home if and when you're ready. The first way is retail. So this is the most expensive way to do it. It's not typically what I recommend. It's what you would do if you were walking into a professional setting, a chiropractor office, something like that, where you're going to be buying one oil at a time. So that's retail. Then there's wholesale. So wholesale is really getting the best products for the best prices. It's like a Costco card. So you pay $42 for this wholesale card or Costco card, and then you have access to 25% off all the products all year round. If you want to renew, you can. It's not an auto renew or anything like that. You have the option to renew for $30, and they send you a free bottle of peppermint. So it's kind of like a wash because peppermint's worth about $30. So that's how the wholesale account works. You're not tied into anything. I know when I first heard about a wholesale account, I thought, oh God, am I going to have to give up my firstborn? What kind of spending am I going to have to do? It's not like that. It's like Costco. You go in when you want, you spend as much as you want. If you're like me, you spend a crap ton on both Costco and doTERRA. But it's that simple. So you really have complete control, which is really cool. So you don't have to like email your neighbor or me and say, this is the oil I want, and can you get it for me? And then I have to deliver it to you, and then you have to pay me. It was such a pain in the butt. Like, that's not how this works, which is really cool. It's us giving you complete ownership and empowering you that if you want to get started with the oils, you can get your own wholesale account and just simply go home whenever you want and place the order. And it shows up at your front door like a couple days later. It's that easy. Hands down, the best way to do it. Then there's wholesale plus points and free products. I usually get into this when someone gets started because we have a really awesome loyalty rewards program where you can earn a lot of free products and points. Not necessarily something you need to worry about right now, but just know that that's available. doTERRA rewards you for living a healthy lifestyle. So those are the 3 ways you can purchase. What you can expect from me if you get started with the oils. Well, if you get started, first of all, I love showering you with gifts. I create a little welcome package with lots of little goodies and samples, little things to help you get started to make it easy and simple, right? I offer you a personal consultation, and that can be pre-buying the oils and post. So if you're not 100% sure how you want to get started and you need some help there, then let's hop on a quick 20-minute consultation to create a little plan for you. But then definitely when you get your oils into your home, I always like to book that wellness consultation, that welcome call, so that I can share with you all the goodies that you have access to, because there's a lot of really awesome free resources that you get when you join my community. But it also helps you create a plan. So when you get the oils, you're not panicked and think, oh my God, I forgot what she said. I have no idea how to use these. That's where I come in to help. You access to VIP education groups, community giveaways, ongoing support. I have the most amazing continuing education classes. I don't know if you can see this, that I offer for you guys free of charge. So there's a lot of support in that regard. The last thing I just want to mention here is when I talked about the different ways to purchase and the wholesale, there's one other way that you can get started, and that's through a kit. And the cool thing about this is it gives you access to that wholesale account, but you don't have to pay for the wholesale membership. So if you purchase a kit through doTERRA, they give you that wholesale membership, that $42 membership for free. And they package up a bunch of oils together to give you a really, really good deal. So this is by far the best way to get started if you have not brought oils into your home yet, if you have not got started yet with somebody. This is the way you're going to want to do it, because this is going to be your most savings, is through a kit. I just want to share quickly my favorite 3 kits. However, I will say we have a number of kits available. And so if you're interested, just send me a quick message and I can send you, or what I'll maybe try to do is post it down in the comments, at least on the Facebook page. I can do that. Anybody that's attending Zoom, if you want something, you can send me a quick email or a text. I'll give that to you at the end of this. Okay, so let me just share really quickly my favorite 3 kits. The Healthy Essential Kit. This is amazing because you get basically all the oils I talked about. I didn't touch on copaiba, but amazing for immune. Balance is amazing for emotional support. And then adaptive is that one I wanted to touch on too. So you get all these amazing oils that can solve hundreds of issues in your home, plus a diffuser. And this is our Healthy Essentials. So this is $319.50 Canadian. And it's a really, really good deal if you went and looked at each of the individual oils on your own. And like I said, it gives you access to that wholesale account for free. Then you have your top 10 oils and a Brevi diffuser. These oil bottles are 5 ml. The ones I just showed you were 15 ml. 15 mil have about 250 drops in. So you can imagine how long or how much use you can get out of just a 15 ml bottle, right? I shared 1 drop of peppermint oil is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So very, very powerful. These are 5 ml bottles. So they're about 70-ish. So this is more of a sampler kit, but it's still a really, really great kit. If you're not quite sure and you're on the fence, this is a great one to get started with. And this is $205.25 Canadian, including your wholesale account for free. And then lastly, this is one of my favorites, our Healthy Habits. This is 250 Canadian. This includes your Lifelong Vitality. It includes a probiotic and a Terrazyme supplement, which is amazing for gut health, on top of a deep blue rub, which is amazing for muscles, and then a couple of your key oils like your On Guard, your lemon, your balance, your frankincense, and your lavender. And it also includes a 21-day program, which is really amazing. Okay, so those are a couple of my favorite kits. However, you can also customize your own kit based on your exact needs and your exact budget. So this is one of my favorite things to do. If you want to reach out and let me know what your health goals are and what your budget is, I can create something for you that works for you, for your budget, and we can help you get started. So just keep that in mind. If you do want to get started, if you send me a message in the next 24 hours, you can text me and I will give you my number. It is, if you have a pen and paper, 519-281-0983. Or you can email me at viteliving@gmail.com. And if you text me in the next 24 hours, or if you're watching this through Facebook, just comment or Facebook me or Instagram me. I mean, there's a million different ways to get a hold of me. I will also throw in a free bottle of wild orange for you if you get started. And like I said, I'm going to send you out some extra special goodies in your little welcome package, because I get excited for people that invest in their health and like to make those quick decisions. So let me help you. Like I said, there's lots of different ways to get started. So that's not the only way. And then last here, let's see if I can get that, or maybe I can't. Let's see, there's my text me. That was the one I was looking for. Very, very last thing, just gonna wrap up, take 2 minutes here. I wanna let you know that typically in a class, there's about 3 people that, 3 types of people that join basically. There's the people that are going to love these oils and get started and live this lifestyle. And that is for the most part about 85% of the people that get started with the oils. They love it, they live the lifestyle, and they'll probably use the oils for the rest of their life. That's one of the cool things about doTERRA. However, there's also often people who are watching this, or who attend a class, that are sitting there and thinking, oh my God, my sister could totally use this oil, or my mom, or my aunt, or my best friend. And those are the people that have the potential to share these oils and get your products paid for. And I can show you how to do that. And then there's also sometimes the people in the class that are sitting there thinking, wow, this sounds really interesting. I'm really interested in getting started with the oils, but I'm also interested in doing what you're doing, because there's absolutely an opportunity to build and earn an income and make a huge impact. And you can make it look any way you want it to look. So it's pretty amazing. So I just want to mention that. So if you're thinking you might be someone that is interested in the sharing or the building aspect, let me know when you text me or when you message me that that is something you're interested in, and I can just give you a little bit more information to kind of look at on your own time. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining our class. I'm going to wrap up now unless anybody has any questions. Like I said, I don't think I can see my questions on Facebook, but I can go back. If you ask the questions, I'll go back and make sure I comment. And yeah, otherwise have an awesome night, guys. And I appreciate you joining, and let me know if I can guide you in helping get started, or if you just have some questions. That's what I'm here for. Okay, take care, guys. Bye.